What is up YouTube? My name is Vinny and welcome to Road Blast Media. On today's video we're going to be talking about the 7 things that I learnt after 2 years of riding motorcycles. So we're going to get out on the road on both of these machines. I'm going to start out on my Triumph Daytona and then we're going to move over to the Himalayan because they're both very different bikes, 125 horsepower and 26 horsepower. And one can go on the dirt and one goes on the racetrack. So yeah, we're gonna start out on the Daytona and we're gonna talk about some things that I learnt in the first 2 years of riding motorcycles. Alright guys, we're out on the Daytona and we're gonna go over some things that I think are important to know, and you know, the 7 things that I learned in the 2 years of riding. Alright, number 7 is a fast bike doesn't always mean a fun bike. The faster the bike doesn't make it more fun, and I learned this the hard way. I learned this $7,000 out of pocket owning this thing. Yes, it's fun, but that's because it's a motorcycle. I've ridden 250s, I've ridden 400s, I've ridden 650s, now a 675 that makes like 3 times the power of what I'm used to. So basically what I'm trying to say is that for real world situations, most of the time a faster bike doesn't exactly mean a more fun bike. Sometimes it can actually mean the quite opposite, because when you're on a screaming beast like this bike, you tend to find that the bike is always wanting more and you can't exactly give it more given the situations that you're in. Obviously this is probably a lot more fun if you're out on a racetrack, closed course, you know. This is where these bikes shine, but in reality, in the real world, a slower bike or like a more mid-range bike, you know, from the 50 to sort of 70 horsepower range, it's sort of that golden zone where you can have a shitload of fun and actually use all the bike has to offer. So yeah, no, this is a great bike, but in reality it's uncomfortable, it's loud, it feels like it's screaming at me that it wants to go faster, and it's more of a chore to ride than anything compared to like an MT-07 or like, you know, a 650 naked bike or something where you're much more upright. It's a lot more torque happy in the mid-range, and you know, actually gives you a bit more of a rewarding feeling riding it. You're using all the gears and things like that. So yeah, number 7 is a fast bike doesn't make it a fun bike. Alright, number 6 on the things that I've learnt in the 2 years of riding is always ride your own ride. Don't push yourself outside your comfort zone. Don't try and keep up with people in a group who are riding recklessly or are just faster than you. Always ride within your comfort zone. Okay, I have done this a few times where I've gone outside of my comfort zone to keep up with faster people, and it's not the right thing to do. Always try your best to get to your destination in one piece. You don't want to be arriving in an ambulance while the rest of the group is there all sweet. Riding outside of your comfort zone and also outside of your own bike's abilities, it is extremely paramount. The track is where you should put yourself outside of your comfort zone and learn skills if you can afford to do so, and also, you know, you can afford to drop your bike and things like that. The racetrack, highly recommend it, you know, push yourself and learn valuable skills and things like that. But when you're on the road and you're riding with buddies and somebody's taking corners at 170 kilometers an hour, don't try and keep up with them, just let them go. You'll meet them at the destination anyway. So that's number 6, is ride your own ride. God damn it, that one is important. Number 5 on the list of things that I learnt in the 2 years of riding is not everybody is out there trying to kill you, but damn well act like it. Okay, if you see oncoming vehicles, act like they're gonna hit you, give them some room. If you see a vehicle pulling out a driveway, assume that they don't see you, assume that they want to pull out in front of you. Okay, be ready for any situation, be ready on the brakes, you know, be prepared for an escape path, think 10 steps ahead, you know, because in the end of the day, not everyone is trying to kill you, but a lot of people will, and they don't even realize they're doing it. So cars are extremely dangerous, trucks are extremely dangerous to us. They're like one of the biggest hazards apart from ourselves being reckless. And I think it is a super important one to always have in the back of your mind that every car will hit you if you're not careful and if you don't know how to avoid it. So be careful and wary about driveways. Look ahead, see if you can see movement or a reflection of a mirror or a window. Always be aware. Always be aware. And yeah, no, it is a very important one. Ride like everybody is trying to kill you. Number 5. Alrighty. Number 4 on the list of things that I've learnt in the 2 years of riding. Number 4 is one of the best things you can do is ride a bunch of different motorcycles and find out what is right for you. And I thought it was the best way to do this was actually to go on the Himalayan, because of how much of a different contrast this is to the Triumph Daytona. So basically, try out different bikes, because when you get to roads like this, you can't exactly hit them on the Daytona. It'd be flicking stones and bloody making heaps of noise. But here on the Hemi, you know, we can have heaps of fun out on this gravel. You know, slide the tail around. You know, it's awesome to ride different roads and try out new things. And it's very important to find out what style of motorcycle is right for you and what you find is the most fun. Because I really enjoy this little 24 horsepower beast on the gravel and taking city things, and it's super comfortable. And I love this thing. Like it really changed my mind about what I find important in a motorcycle, because this thing is slow, man, like dead slow, one of the slowest bikes ever, but it's one of the most fun, and you can't change my mind about that. But that doesn't mean you have to go out and buy a Himalayan. Try adventure bikes, different types. Try a naked bike if you're into sports bikes, or if you're into cruisers, you know, try something different. If you're into sports bikes, try a cruiser. You know, it really, like, it doesn't matter. But the worst thing that you can do is stick to one type of bike. Now you find this in sports bike guys and Harley guys. Sports bike guys never leave that like crotch rocket saddle until they get a lot older and mature up, and Harley boys never leave the Harley. Never ever. So yeah, that is number 4, is try a whole bunch of different bikes, because you never know what you might fall in love with. Just like this, I started out on sports bikes and I never thought I'd go on an adventure bike, as they're ugly, you know, but actually they're the most fun. Or a dual sport, you know, like a supermoto. There's so many different bikes out there, and the thing I've learned is try them all, because you never know what you might love. So that's number 4. Okay, number 3 is that I've learned, and the 7 things that I've learned of 2 years of riding, is that modifying and working on your motorcycle is half the fun. Now, I know a lot of people out there, they buy a brand new bike and then they leave it. But seriously, putting your own personal touches to a bike really makes you a lot more proud of it and makes you love it more, and also it gives more of a talking point to tell people how you've personalized your bike. And also it's great to see other people's customizations. You find this very much in the Harley community and classic motorcycle community a lot, with the Royal Enfields that I've seen and other bikes along the lines, with all the customizations. There's some very special machines out there that, you know, are extremely awesome because of how they've been customized, and it is an important and very much loved factor of motorcycling that I did not really think about when I first got into riding. So yeah, number 3 is modifying your bike is almost as important as riding it to some people, and to me, and you know, everything like that. I really love the look of a modified, nicely done motorcycle. Coming in at number 2 on the list of things that I learned in the first 2 years of riding is that motorcycling has a brotherhood or camaraderie. Like, nothing else I've ever seen. Now, I've seen sports and stuff, and yeah, like you have a camaraderie with your team and things like that, but there's just this like unwritten rule that like every motorcyclist is like automatically your friend, really. Like, and it's something that I've experienced firsthand. Every time I come across another rider, it doesn't matter what they're riding, I feel like I can approach them, talk about their bike, they're happy to talk to me. A lot of them are friendly. You always throw out a wave whenever you see a motorcyclist. It's really, really cool, and the community feel of motorcycling is really like nothing else. I've especially noticed this doing my YouTube channel and talking to all of you awesome subscribers and commenters, and I just think that the community around motorcycling is one of those things that I didn't actually know about. I thought I was just going to be riding with my select couple of friends and that was it, but you wouldn't believe how many friends I made while motorcycling, and that is one of the most awesome things that I learned about riding, is the fact that you can make so many friends, and there's so many cool people out there with the same interests that you have, and it just makes for a great time, you know, riding with new buddies, riding with old buddies, meeting tons of new people. It's really awesome, and nothing else can really replace it. There's an extreme community feel to motorcycling. So that is number 2 on my list of things that I have learnt in the first 2 years of riding. Okay, number 1 on the list of things that I learnt in the first 2 years of riding motorcycles is you never stop learning, and you never stop learning new things, and you're never going to be a perfect rider, never ever. And not like, even the best racers in the world make mistakes. Even the best dirt bike riders and adventure riders, they sometimes come off. Even driving instructors and riding instructors, they crash too. You can always learn to be better, and that is a really important one. The fact that you should be going out and you should take riding courses. In New Zealand we have one called the Ride Forever course. It's funded by the government. It's very well subsidized, and you know, it is a great thing. I went on that course thinking, you know, I know most of this stuff, and I learned like 10 to 15 things that I didn't know. Like, one of them was actually, I was riding and I didn't know how to counter steer, and well, I did, like, but I didn't know what it was and know how important it is. And so there's lots of things that you can learn, even if you've been riding for 30 to 40 years, that you may not know. So it's always really good to go and take a rider training course, or brush up on your skills, watch some YouTube tutorials. You can always learn more. It doesn't really stop, whether it's learning how to maintain and repair your motorcycle, learning how to do performance mods or cosmetic modifications, learning different defensive riding skills, learning how to use your brakes more efficiently. There's always going to be something new you can learn while riding a motorcycle, and I really encourage everybody to take a couple of riding courses and brush up on their skills, especially if they got their license, you know, 20-30 years ago, and they've never really gone to any more rider training or anything like that. It's extremely important, and I would highly recommend it to anybody who's still riding a motorcycle, to learn some safety, and also maybe learn some maintenance and repairs and do things yourself. It is the most rewarding and most amazing thing that anybody could do, is ride a motorcycle, and the best thing you can do is learn more about it and be more safe. So yeah, thank you all for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and hope you enjoyed these scenic gravel roads and also around my town on the Daytona. And yeah, that'll bring us to the end of the video. I really hope you enjoyed it. That was just a small list of some of the things that I've learnt. There's about 100 other things that I could talk about, but I just chose 7. And yeah, thank you all for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video and want to see more from me. And this is Vinny from Road Blast Media. Big skitty whacks for the team.